Hello everybody! How's it going? It's me, Master Nick. I got a fun BlackBelt Club class for you today, or a weapons class, whatever you'd like to call it. Today it's going to be a lot shorter than it normally is. We're not going to do any warm-up. We're not going to do any stretch-up. I'm just going to get right into our bow staff technique. Here's my idea. I want to do BlackBelt Club, and we're going to do weapons class no matter what. But I want to also make sure that I have time for the other things in the day. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to skip the warm-up and teach this kind of like a video. If you guys have comments or questions, I'll always answer them and I'll always help you out with them. But with that being said, I'll just be going through one technique today. When the technique's done, class will be over. We did change our online schedule. Mondays we'll still have these YouTube classes. Wednesday we won't have them, and Thursdays have been switched to extra Zoom classes. On Wednesday, instead of doing YouTube live classes, what I'm going to do instead is upload videos of me teaching certain techniques. So instead of there being like, a 45-minute long class where I warm up and stretch out and I do the techniques and then I, do something extra at the end for fun, I just focus on that middle segment of the curriculum. And then I'll upload the video and you guys can stretch out and do everything else within that class if you would like. So Wednesday, there'll be YouTube videos, but Monday, will be the live classes. Wednesday, there won't be live classes anymore. With all that being said, we'll get started with our bow staff tricks. So, first thing that I want you to do is take your bow staff and find the middle of it. Now I got this handy dandy little stripe here for me. You may not have this. If you do, that's great, you know your center. If you don't, my recommendation is to put your finger around where you think the center of the bow is and see which way it tilts. If it stays flat, then obviously you found the center. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly flat. It may tilt a little bit one way or the other. As long as it doesn't instantly fall, you know that you have where you kind of need to be. For example, if I put it over here, it very clearly falls to this side. Since it falls to this side, I'm going to move my thumb over there. Since it falls to that side, I try to find somewhere in the middle until it is flat as I can get it. So once you got that center, once you have it there, feel free. I'm going to do a quick toss, you can. But remember where it's at. So mine's actually a little bit off of where this tape is, and that's fine. So here's what I would like you to do. Take the center of your palm, put it in the center of your bow staff, and grab tight. Punch out. Now I'm using my right hand for this. You can also use your left hand for this. Now I'm going to be using my left hand, but to you it will look like my right hand. Understand that this is not my main hand, so it may be a little bit sloppier than it normally is. I'm still working on my left. Both hands should be the same, but I'm not quite there yet. One hand's still a little bit more dominant. So now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to flip it upside down. Do that 5 times for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the people who already know this technique, this is going to seem simple, but trust me, I do this when I start warming up with my bow staff no matter what. So even though I can do this technique a million different times and I'll never make a mistake, I always start out here to confirm that I have the right movement. Once I do that, I'm going to open my palm and see if I can trap it between my thumb and my pointer finger. There. So I'm going to roll there. Now if you're used to doing this, feel free to just toss it around your wrist, or not toss, but use your wrist and toss it back over. If you're not used to this, go here, flip, go there, go very slowly, re-grab and flip back over. You don't need to do this fast, but just do this for the time being. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to practice this. And as you're doing it, get used to that movement. See how it stops right on, well, not on your thumb, but on your palm. That's important to know because we're going to do something right before that point going forward. All right, so once we got that down, I want you to go here and freeze. The second it hits here, you're going to take your other hand and you're going to chop it over. Now, don't go yet. I want you to just practice going behind it. Just like this, keeping your palm up towards the ceiling. Get used to that motion. Again, if you already know how to do this, keep doing this. Practice this. Trust me, this will help you later on. Also, I see that Sean's here. Hello, Sean. So now that you did that, I want you to hit bow staff and let it roll into your hand. Notice how my palm was never facing downward. So let me do it again. I'm here, and then when I hit, bam, my palm always stays up to roll into it. Keep practicing that. Now, Instead of looking at this hand, I now want you to look at this thumb. So it's here, it's relaxed, look at the thumb. What happens to the bow staff when you do that? What happens is it rolls around your thumb. This is a thumb roll, hence what we're doing. Thumb rolls are a lot like a lot of different techniques. They just are a bit fancier and they give you an extra spin. And you want to know that you want to have a couple of extra spins as we do this going forward. One, we're going to be doing something really, really cool today, and if you don't have that extra spin off your thumb, it's not going to work. Here, roll. Now once you got that down, I want you to just keep doing this. Catch, flip, there. Now, a lot of times you'll want to do what I just did there, which was you roll it, and you want to do this kind of like baton twirl, or not necessarily a baton twirl, but a color guard twirl, where you grab here and you just keep flipping it this way, where your hands are flat, right? And you don't actually do any of your thumb rolls. I don't want you to do that, because this only lets it go so fast and only lets it spin as much. Practice going here and rolling. It looks kind of similar, but your point of rotation is around your thumb or around the center of your body. When you go here, your point of your rotation tends to change. It's a lot bigger. It's not just the center, it's over here and up there. You want to keep it center. So get used to this twirl, and I know you guys are probably used to it at this point. And if you drop your bow staff, pick it back up, try it again. You're going to drop it a couple of times today, and that's fine. So now that you've got that, feel free to roll it around your thumb and catch it on the other side. If you don't have this part yet, keep practicing. But if you do, roll here, and instead of letting it hit the back of your wrist, you're going to continue that rotation around your thumb and catch it on the other side. So I'm no longer chopping, I'm just putting it where it should be when I catch. Here. Now when you do it, you may think this is a toss. It's not a toss. This is actually the proper way to do the thumb. When you do this, and some people may be on that point, when you do this, it's basically your assisted thumb roll. It's not your real thumb roll. It's kind of like you riding a bike, but you have training wheels in the back. When you're able to do it around your thumb, catch it with your other hand, that's actually your thumb roll. It's not a toss because it doesn't leave my hands. At all points, it's still on my hands. So keep thumb rolling and get used to it. If you have your thumb roll down, and you've been doing this with me while I've been talking, thank you for not going ahead. Now we can try our first toss. Now understand that the toss I'm going to show you right now is not going to be the toss that we do at the end of the day. It's just going to be the starting element of the toss. The starting element of the toss. Here's what I would like you to do. You're going to roll, and then the second it hits your thumb, or it would hit the back of your wrist, right? You're going to lift your thumb up. So when it rolls around, the second it would hit the back of your wrist, it's on top of your thumb. You're going to lift. Now, right now, I only want you to spin it at a 180. So when you toss it around your thumb, it's going around, you lift, and you're catching it after it's spun at a 180 degree. That's all I want you to do. Eventually, we will do a full 360, but right now, just do a 180. See if you can toss it and keep it always on the center of your body. So the center of the bow staff does not move from the center of your body. That will become very important. That will be very important later. And for everybody who's like, I already got this down, and they're doing this 3-spin toss. Understand that when we get to later, you're going to actually be behind everybody else. These simple warm-ups on this bow toss is going to help you immensely. When I start to practice my 360 and 720 tosses, when I start to do any sort of advanced spinning techniques, I always practice this. I do this 3 or 4 times, then I do this 3 or 4 times, then I do this 3 or 4 times, then I do a toss to a 180 3 or 4 times, and then finally, hopefully you've been doing all that, I get to my final part before I start working on some rotating and things. I'm going to have you do a full rotation toss. So tossing, letting it spin around once and catch it. And I'll tell you, I got some lights above here, so that's why you're seeing me do it lower and not as fast as I normally would be. But I'm letting it spin around once. So when it tosses, 1, catch. Also, I'm doing it with my left side. I typically do it with my right. Ooh. And see how that was off there? How when I tossed it, it went over here? That means I need to practice my 180 tosses more and practice keeping that center. Because if my toss is in center, a lot of other things aren't going to line up. All right. So now that we got that portion down, we're going to work on part 2. Now, part 2 is the whip, or I call it the whip. There's a different name for it, and there's actually a baton way of saying it, and I can't remember what it's called. It's not a flare, it's something. But I call it the whip because it's you whipping your hand forward, and if you know the dance, hopefully you don't, but if you do, it's that motion of bringing your hand around your body. You are whipping your shoulder, then your elbow, then your wrist. So if this is the end of your whip, this is your handle, you're twisting it into it and then snapping. Feel free to try to do that with your hands. We're done with our thumb rolls for now. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got that down, I know what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to grab my bow staff and practice swinging it here. Now, if you want to roll there, I'm fine. Don't do your full rotation yet. If I do it on my right side, there. Another way that you can practice this is spin it once behind your back and then whip. So once behind my back, whip. Once, whip. Once, whip. Notice how my elbow is coming up when I'm whipping. So it's stuck to my side, and then I bring it up and I twist it forward. So my elbow comes up, I twist my shoulder, it follows there. Practice getting it there. Now spin it once, there. Elbow lock, once, whip. Once, whip. On your other side, feel free to practice. Once, whip. See, my left side isn't as practiced. You guys get to see what probably you're looking like right now, or if you're a lot better than me, you don't look like this, but you spin it once. I practiced this whip with my right hand forever because I broke my left hand, and for a solid like 3 months, I couldn't really do any martial arts with my left hand, but I could with my right hand. So I practiced just doing this with my right over and over and over again. But it made me a bit lopsided, so my right now understands it quite a bit, but my left is still kind of catching up. So, you got that whip down, great. Let me show you the final step into the whip. So, this is part 2 still. Part 1 was just our thumb roll. Part 2 was the whip. Now, not only that, it's the rotation behind our back into the whip. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can do your triple spin, which is actually what I just showed you, into this, and it works just as well. Do this with me for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I'm going to bring my hand, I'm going to punch up to the sky almost in an uppercut position. I'm going to twist my top of my bow staff up, around, and almost bring it as completely up and down as I can to my back until it flattens out and grabs. So I'm going down, here. Again, I'm starting in my uppercut. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. If I do it on the other side, I'm grabbing it with my OK grip. For anybody that's new, an OK grip is where you make the OK sign and you grab here. I punch, it comes, the top of my bow comes down. Ooh, I messed that one up. 1, 2. 1, 2. And see, my goal is to try to get this top of my bow staff to always be top. So to go here and then flatten out. So when I'm here, top of my bow staff always be top. There. Again, you'll notice where I've been practicing and where I haven't. That's why I like these classes too, because it really helps me practice what I need to as well. 1, 2. Now I'm switching sides, you don't have to switch sides, but practice making it just as smooth on your right as you do on your left. All right, so you got that down pretty well. Now there's one more thing. This is part 3. We're going to combine them and add one more circle. Now before we combine them, I want you to practice this. You're going to grab your hand, and all you're going to do is circle around and toss them. So take it, palm out, circle, toss. Ready? Shh. Now it's not going to move at all. I don't want it to move. I'm okay if you throw it weirdly, but practice moving your hand there. I don't want you to even do your thumb roll right now. Just practice moving your hand around. Shh. Wipe on, wipe on. Wipe on, wipe off. Karate Kid, you know? Coming around, toss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now that we have that down, we're going to work on combining it all into one singular toss. If you can do that, then you have a really, really great thumb roll or a toss that you can put into any form. Now this transfers to a lot of weapons, but bow staff is something special for me that I use almost consistently. This is my glue, this is my bread and butter of my bow staff. This is how I can transfer from any one position to another. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to swing it around, and then I'm going to whip. When I whip, I'm going to circle my hands, go onto my thumb, and toss. That's a lot. So practice doing this slowly. And if you have this then, let's say you've practiced with me a million times with this, you're a black belt, you're a demo team member, because I'm going to tell my demo team members to watch this. Try to keep your toss in the center of the chest. So if you know what you're doing, practice getting and tossing the exact same way every time. I'm here, I go around. Shh. Once I got here, I'm going to whip. Once I whip, I'm going to circle onto my thumb, toss. Once I catch, I can restart. 1, whip, around, toss. One problem I've always had with bow staff, before I learned how to toss this way, is my tosses were always slower than my spins. So I would do all these fancy spins, and then I would toss it, and it would slow down. And I was like, okay, I know it's going to slow down, but why so much? When I started to add all the rotation behind, the whip forward, the circle, onto my extra spin on my thumb, suddenly, it still slows down, because that's how physics works, right? But it slows down to an almost inconceivable degree where somebody won't be able to spot that it slows down, unless they train in bow staffs, right? Now, I'm going really fast here, but if you want to, you could actually slow YouTube down to 0.25 speed, and you'll see me go 1, and it's going to be a small circle, but a small circle with my hand onto my thumb and toss. So that is our one technique today. I'm not going to go over all of them. I just want to go over that. Now, eventually, what I'm going to have you guys do is combining multiple things that we learned. Now, since I have a little bit of extra time, I'm going to show one more move that you can do into your whip. And this is something that you guys can practice, but we'll be going over more in another class. So take your bow staff and punch out like this. Now flip it around, and I like to call this the unicorn horn. Give yourself a horn here. So I'm here, I flip it, and do a horn. Now if I'm behind, I'm going to grab it with my other hand, and then bring it up and punch to the side. So what it looks like is I'm here, again I'm here, I'm here. If you can get this down, practice once you get here, tossing it into your other hand instead of handing it off. Because if you hand it off, it's going to slow you down. So this is a handoff. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. This is a toss. Notice the difference? It's small, but it does help. So once you got here, you're going to bring it up here. Grab it with your other hand. Bring it back down. So pull. 1, 2. Practice going in a circle like this. If you have this down, start to add one toss, but maybe don't toss the other. Maybe start to do some okay grips as you spin it around. Okay. And then once you fully have it, do your okay grips and add your tosses in. That way, it'll go fast and you won't slow yourself down. So that was your extra thing of the day. I didn't go over it a whole bunch. So if you have it down well, that's incredible. I love it. If you don't have it down well, practice it. So if you want to combine this into the toss we learned today, coming around here, here, and then once it comes down, go into your toss there. So you go 1, around, toss, catch, 1, around, toss. My hands are a little bit slippery today, but it works just the same. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now you guys have 2 moves to work on fancy spinning bow staffs. So, like I said, I'm ending class early today. Well, early being that going forward is